The silence that hurts. I'm curled up on my couch, my phone clutched in my hand, the screen dark and silent. It's been 6 days since I last heard from Marcus, my ex, the man who was my first love and the source of my deepest pain. At 28, I'm reeling from the aftermath of an abortion I went through alone, a pregnancy I didn't plan but grieved in ways I didn't expect. A week ago, I took the medication, enduring the most physically and emotionally wrenching experience of my life, and Marcus, 38, dismissive, avoidant, promised to check in but didn't. His silence is a fresh wound, layered over 18 months of gaslighting, cheating and manipulation that left me traumatized and depressed. I'm torn between my anxious need to reach out and the anger that's starting to burn, whispering that he should feel the weight of his neglect, even if I know revenge won't erase the hurt. I sent him a Cash App request for the abortion costs, the least he could do, but he hasn't paid, hasn't called, hasn't cared. I'm lost, wondering what he's thinking, if he's mad, if I should try again, or if I should finally let him go. We met in April 2022 when I was 26 and he was 36, a charming music producer who walked into the coffee shop where I worked part-time. Marcus had a way of making me feel seen, his deep voice and easy smile pulling me in. I'd never been in love before, and he became my world. For 18 months, I gave him everything. My heart, my time, my trust. I'd drop everything to help with his projects, cook his favourite meals, believe his promises of a future together. But there were red flags, the way he'd dodge questions about his phone, the late nights he'd dismiss as work, the times he'd twist my words to make me doubt myself. I ignored them, too smitten to see the truth. In October 2023, it all came crashing down. I found messages on his phone, flirty texts, explicit photos, proof he'd been cheating with multiple women. When I confronted him, he gaslit me, saying I was overreacting, that I didn't understand his needs. I was devastated, my trust shattered, my sense of self eroded by his manipulation. We broke up and I spiraled into depression, spending the first half of 2024 in a fog of therapy and tears, trying to heal from the trauma he left behind. Last summer, we ran into each other at a music festival, the kind of event we used to love together. He was single, having been through 2 relationships since our breakup, while I'd gone on dates but couldn't stop thinking about him. We started talking, then hanging out, slipping back into an undefined space. Not together, but not apart. In December 2024, he invited me and my friends to a cabin for New Year's. A magical week of laughter, music and stolen glances. We went to concerts, shared meals, acted like a couple without the label. I knew we weren't back together, but my heart hoped, my anxious attachment latching onto every kind word, every touch. In March 2025, everything changed. I found out I was pregnant. It was a shock. Neither of us wanted a baby, and our relationship was too unstable to even consider it. I booked an appointment with Planned Parenthood for abortion medication before telling Marcus, my hands shaking as I made the call. The day I planned to tell him, he ended things, out of nowhere, over a phone call. "I can't do this anymore, Lila," he said, his voice cold. "It's too much." I was stunned, the pregnancy news stuck in my throat as he hung up. I went through with the appointment, and the clinic mailed me the pills. They required me to inform someone, so I texted Marcus explaining everything. He was out of state, his response brief. "Okay, let me know how it goes." No questions, no support, just distance. Last week, I took the medication. It was terrifying. Cramping that doubled me over, bleeding that felt like it would never stop, emotions so raw I could barely breathe. Marcus said he'd check in throughout the day, but he didn't. I waited, phone in hand, through waves of pain, only hearing from him late that night with a curt, "You okay?" I lied, said I was fine, too hurt to admit I needed him. A few days later, I had a panic attack at work, my chest tight, my vision blurring. Desperate, I called him, but his annoyed tone, "Lila, I'm busy, what's up?" cut me off. I hung up, humiliated. The next day, he called, saying he wanted to hear what I'd been through. Against my better judgment, I opened up, telling him about the physical agony, the emotional weight of losing a baby that was ours, even how I'd been talking to it, brainstorming names like Emma or Leo. It was the most vulnerable I'd ever been, and he listened, quiet. Then a work call interrupted, and he promised to call back. He hasn't. 6 days later, silence. His silence is torture for my anxious attachment. I check my phone constantly, wondering, what's he thinking? Is he mad? Does he care? Why is he being so cruel? He's told me he's a dismissive avoidant, that deep conversations overwhelm him. But that doesn't ease the pain of his neglect. I sent him a Cash App request for the abortion costs. I paid out of pocket, and he's done nothing to help. But he hasn't accepted it. I tried calling once. No answer. I'm stuck, torn between reaching out and letting go, my heart and head at war. The pain is a weight I carry, but beneath it, anger grows. Not loud, but sharp, urging me to make him feel the cost of his absence. I don't want to lash out, like exposing his cheating or bad-mouthing him to our friends. No, I want something subtler, something that make him pause. I imagine sending one final message, calm but clear. I went through this alone, Marcus. I hope you never know this kind of pain. Then I'd block him, leaving him with the silence he's given me. Or maybe I'd post a photo online, me at a concert, smiling, captioned, "Healing, one song at a time." I know he'd see it and it'd sting, even just a little, that I'm not the broken woman he left behind. The thought brings a fleeting thrill, but it's not enough. Revenge isn't about hurting him, it's about reclaiming my power, proving I'm more than the love he discarded. I grabbed my journal, the one I started in therapy last year. Writing has been my lifeline, a way to process the trauma Marcus left me with. I've dabbled in stories before, crafting suspenseful tales inspired by the dramas I watch to escape. But tonight, I need something different. I start a new story, not a message to Marcus, but a fictionalized version of this pain, a way to turn my hurt into something I can control. I call my character Nora, a version of myself but stronger, more resolute. In the story, Nora's first love betrays her, cheats, then abandons her during a crisis. But Nora doesn't break. She rebuilds, quietly, methodically, becoming a version of herself that shines brighter than ever. Nora's revenge isn't loud, it's strategic. She doesn't beg her ex to care. Instead, she heals, finds a new passion, surrounds herself with people who see her worth. She sends him a single, anonymous gift, a vinyl record they loved with a note, "I'm free now. I hope you find peace." She builds a life so vibrant it overshadows his absence, sharing glimpses online that she knows he'll see, her at a gallery, laughing with new friends. The suspense builds as he grows restless, haunted by her silence, by the life he could have had. He tries to reach out, but Nora's moved on. Her number changed, her heart no longer his to break. She doesn't destroy him. She lets his own regret do the work, watching from a distance as his avoidance crumbles. I pause, my pen hovering over the page. Is this too much? Am I writing a fantasy to escape my own pain? Maybe, but it feels good, like I'm reclaiming a piece of myself. I keep writing, the story growing richer, more intricate. Nora's ex starts noticing cracks in his new life, the freedom he craved feeling empty, replaced by the weight of what he left behind. My pages fill, each word a release for my anger, my grief, my need to be seen. Hours pass. My apartment is quiet, except for the hum of the city outside. I close the journal, exhausted but lighter. Writing Nora's story isn't just therapy, it's a mirror, showing me I'm stronger than I feel right now. I don't need to send Marcus that message or post that photo. My revenge is in my resilience, in building a life that proves I'm enough without him. I glance at my phone, still silent. Tomorrow, I'll stop checking and start healing myself.